This is just absolute lols right here. So we're going to put God Eternal Bond 2 in. We're going to sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whenever one or more other creatures you control die. Fine, let's just go for that as well. Absolute baller move. Sacrifice everything to do this. Look at those Korvold triggers. Is it going to be enough? Let's find out. Hello everyone, today I'm bringing you a bit of a sad episode. So this video is to kind of celebrate Sheldon Menery's life. If you don't know Sheldon Menery, he recently passed away, but he was responsible for essentially creating the Commander format. He was a judge, he was also on the Commander Rules Committee, so he was basically the godfather of Commander format, and Historic Brawl is a part of that. You know, we wouldn't have Historic Brawl without that format, so this is for you, Sheldon. Rest in peace. And this deck was actually inspired heavily by one of his favourite decks, which is a Korvold Jund Legendary list. So I hope you really enjoy this video and join me at the end for the full deck tech and my thoughts on the deck. So once again, rest in peace, Sheldon. You were hugely influential, and we owe you everything for bringing us friends, joy, and one of the best games, known to man. This is an interesting matchup because Alayla was also printed in the Brawl decks. So we're having a Brawl Commander match. And there's something really exciting about using 3-color. I absolutely love 3-color decks. The more colors, the better, I think. But yeah, Alayla, whenever they cast artifacts or enchantments, they get a 1/1 fairy. And our hand is absolutely stacked. Riveteer's Outlook is pretty good. It comes in and gives us a land. But I think we've got enough lands for now, especially with the binding. The Goreclaw is going to let us get the Korvold out a bit quicker as well. Again, an interesting addition. I would never have thought of putting Goreclaw in here, but it kind of makes sense. Slimefoot as well. I do have a rough recollection of exactly what he had in. Tried to compare what was available. Celestus. Interesting, they're playing lots of things out before the Alayla, so that's kind of good for us, I suppose. Will they counter the Thran Temporal Gateway? Interesting. This is very good against blue players because we can flash in strike cards. Final Grasp. Again, intriguing. I wouldn't have maybe not killed the Slimefoot. Yeah, this is just a fun, quirky card that you put into the deck. You know, this is not my edition. This is one of Sheldon's, but yeah, just an interesting bit of tech. Not really sapling centric, but does he have another card to kill the Gateway? Sculpting Steel. What are they going to copy? So depending on what they copy, I could get. Interesting. So they're going to go for that. I'm actually going to use the Unleash the Inferno here to deal 2. And then we're also going to get to kill the Gateway. So that's a pretty awesome 2-for-1 there. I don't want them to flash in huge legends or huge artifacts. Sadly, we missed a land drop there. But I've been kind of banking the binding for when that moment arises. Metamorph. Man, they really want that, don't they? Well, let's get rid of it. I think they're a bit low on mana as well, so we're just taunting them here by letting them have it for a turn and then just blowing it up. Twice in a row now they've stolen the Gateway, which is pretty impressive when you think about it. They finally go for Alayla. We don't have any kill spells for her now, which is kind of annoying because they're going to be able to make flyers for the Korvold. What do we do? I think we're just going to flash in. Are we going to flash in? Maybe we just go for the ramp, just to be safe. Just to be safe. And then we're going to get Gilded Goose and the Llanowar Elves. We're not too desperate for the Goreclaw yet. It's a bit, yeah, it's a shame because that would have been the turn to get rid of the binding, because giving our creatures death touch is not something I am that interested in, and I'd rather have sacked it for a land, for a card. Sorry, Scarecrow. So they're going to be able to resurrect an artifact creature, so they can get back the Phyrexian Metamorph. That's pretty annoying. What do we want to get rid of then? Let's tap these here. And then we'll go for the Vran first. And we'll try to drain them. Do they have a counter spell here? Okay, and then we'll sack the Goose, because... Do we want to sack the Goose or the Elves? Yeah, I think we'll sack the Goose, because I can't be bothered to keep tapping that for 2 tokens. Like this. Okay. So they could actually get their own Korvold. Sacrifice it to draw a card. What? Wow, they must be desperate for a land. It's strange to see people do that, because they had the Metamorph in their hand, but... Okay. They must be just desperate. What exactly is in... Wow. Oh my goodness. God Eternal Bontu is pretty awesome. Especially when we can just pay 4 to get it in. We don't really want to attack because we're probably going to lose the Korvold. 1, 2, 3. So the beauty is we can play this and still use the gateway. If we attack, will they block with the Alele, I wonder? I think we should try it. Each creature gets trample. Okay, I think we're going to wait until Goreclaw attacks, because the reason is when Goreclaw attacks, each other creature with power 4 has trample. So I want to do a huge attack here. If they tap out, then I feel as though... Oh my goodness, Chromatic Orrery. I see what they were waiting for now. Jeez. Only 3 lands though, which is kind of strange. And now there's taps for 5. Keep to the archive. Oof. This is brutal. They have so many 2/1s here. Okay, so if they attack with the Alele... Right, so we're going to flash in the Yorva. This is going to get really juicy in a minute. And an Azusa as well. Do we want to sack that? Do we care about that? Right. Okay, we're going to do something spicy. Alpha with these 3. So they're all going to get trample and +1/+1 because Goreclaw. Can we actually win here? Sacrifice another permanent. Damn, didn't really think that one through. We're going to lose 1 mana. Okay, that's fine. We're going to drain him for 2 as well. This is going to be the most spectacular finish ever. We will see. Depends what and where they block, right? They could be in for an absolute... We could sack how many things? Any number of permanents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wow, they're going to go for it. Do you know what? Even if I lose this, is it worth doing? I think it is just for the lols. This is just absolute lols right here. So we're going to put God Eternal Bontu in. We're going to sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. Whenever one or more other creatures you control die. Fine, let's just go for that as well. Absolute baller move. Sacrifice everything to do this. Look at those Korvold triggers. Is it going to be enough? Let's find out. Oh my god, this is the craziest attack I think ever on the channel. Ever on the channel. Wow, that was exact. Apart from the 2 life. No! Oh, that's so crazy. They're at 2. Oh, that's so crazy. Can we actually just deal 2 to them somehow? Right. We've got this. Are we just screwed now? Dark Ritual. As if... Oh, well. That was still funny. That was still funny. How about... Choose cards to keep. Okay, we're going to keep Azusa. Maybe some lands. Submit 6. Submit 7. Okay. We're in a lot of trouble now. Do they have the kill spell for our creatures? This is the question. They have so much mana, right? 5, 6, 7. Improvise. Oh, if they get Paradox Engine, we just lose the game. Yeah. Damn it. So what would we have had to sack to deal the extra 2? There wasn't anything left, was there? We literally sacked everything. So let's just quickly think about this analysis, right? So if we didn't do that crazy move, we would have just... We would be dead anyway because they had Paradox Engine. So actually, yeah, I think we would have lost anyway. Paradox Engine plus extra turn. Yeah, well, that was a crazy roller coaster. We have now lost the game, guys. And if you don't know why, every time they cast a spell, they untap all of the non-permanents, including all these rocks. So they're going to do this forever and infinitely with all this mana, and they will win the game, which is ridiculous after what we just did. But there you go. I'm going to concede and go and cry in a corner. How could you not like an Elvish Mystic in your starting hand? Also, just realised that this artwork looks a lot like Warhammer 40,000, I've just realised. If you look at that blue and gold bug, it kind of looks... It kind of looks like something from the Warhammer universe. What do we do now? Let's go for this temple. And then Rada in the following turn. It's a pretty good start. But they have a board wipe there, we're going to be a bit sad. 3 to 4 damage is the most they can do. Really? I mean, maybe 5 damage these days. Cultivate, so they're just going to keep ramping. Right, let's see if we've got any lands on top, please. No, Black Blade. So we are desperately looking for a land now. Otherwise we can't play our huge spells. Lothus. Land. Okay, this is good. And then the ER on the top, we can equip Rada? So if we equip Rada with this, another gets... We're going to put her out of range of... Actually, let's give it to Sepharin. This is actually a hell of a lot of damage. Oh my goodness. 15 damage. That's ridiculous. Farron with Black Blade. It's like... unbelievable amount of damage. They can gain life, though. 6 Kogla. So they're going to fight the Sepharin. Man, that was lucky of them to have that. But we do have the Unleash the Inferno to deal 7. So let's get the Kogla out of the way. Swinging for 4. They're gaining 2 every turn though, which is kind of irritating. We've got the Lightning Bolt, which is going to help circumvent some of that life gain though. fact that exiling stuff from the graveyard does suck because the Cauldron of Eternity is going to be a bit worse. Will they be able to stabilize into the north? That's not something you'd expect to see from a stabilization move, but maybe the next play is incredibly good. Interesting. Land on top. Land on top. Okay. Do we risk equipping this? We'll give it a go, I suppose. How much toughness is that? 2 toughness. Okay. Let's see what they do here. They might just block with the Den. Or what else are they going to do? Destroy the artifact? Could be. They're going to Chaos Warp. We get a land back. Sure. So, okay, let's... That's actually worked out pretty well, because now we get the Korvold. Right, so they're going to need to have a mass board wipe, really, realistically. What are they going to get rid of? So they get rid of this land, they get mana, they get rid of the Surfaron, they get to drain for 2. Depends what they want. Clothis is a very tricky card. It does a lot of things, right? It stops graveyard decks, stops aggro decks if she comes down early. If they have the 20 damage to everything, we are going to be a bit sad. So that can't block flyers, and neither can that. So they're banking on the fact we can't deal 7 flying here. And we have the lightning bolt. And we have the bond too, so we have a chance to redeem ourselves. Should we try and redeem ourselves? By doing a silly thing. An absolute redo of the previous here. Making a super powered Korvold. And hopefully we actually will be able to win this time, unlike last time when I did a silly move. Yay! I love that synergy. That's so cool. That's such a cool... I actually really love this deck. Right, against Chatterfang, we need a better hand than this. This could be okay. We just need more removal, I think. Especially for Chatterfang itself. Got into the north the next turn, so that would be able to give us a turn 4 play. A bit earlier. Board Robber. So they're going to be ramping. What do we want? Another blacks? No, got black already. I think we'll go for green. So they're going to hit, get a treasure, they'll have 4 mana. Or they could go for Chatterfang first, which means they get a treasure and a squirrel. Gross. Yeah, this is going to be tough to deal with already. Okay, Gloin and the Goose. And then we'll see. Although the deck doesn't actually have any wipes, I don't think. Which is an interesting decision, but yeah, I thought, why not? Sheldon doesn't have any in there, I don't think, so. Swinging into the 3/3 with Forest Walk, which means we can't block it. Man, this has got a lot of words. Sedgemoor Witch, okay. Migration Path. Do we just go for Korvold? Or Rankle? Or maybe... And we'll go for Henrika, I think. Because we get the treasure from this. And then we'll go to combat. Draw a card. Jury. That could be pretty good. And we'll swing in as well. I'd be happy to trade with the witch. I don't think we will be, though, but... Oh, just chomping. That's interesting. Hmm. You wouldn't think they would have chomped there, would they? Because they could have sacked that to kill our stuff, but maybe they just... Why are they so eager to preserve their life total, I wonder? That was interesting. Did they miss another land drop, I wonder? Always a scary opponent, Chatterfang. It just does so much. Chatterfang. Scary card. Squirrel and a pest. Ugh. Two lands untapped. Jeez. Dreadhorde Invasion. This is getting out of hand. Okay, and they're attacking as well. We're going to take 6 and a 14. Not looking good for us. Yeah, that's not looking good. Command tower, okay, that's good. So jury, whenever you sack a permanent. So, what do we want to do here? 1, 2, 3. Food and treasure. Okay, we'll go for jury first. That's going to synergize really well with the Korvold. I think we'll use the goose to sack... Oh no, but then we won't be able to see that with... No, it's fine. Do we want to do that? Yeah. Okay, so jury gets bigger as well. Well, I'm not sure we're going to be able to live much longer here, but... So they're thinking about killing him in response. We'll use their treasure. How badly do they need their treasure? Interesting, they don't really care. That's a shame. So it deals 2 damage. Ward, pay 3 life. I think we want to get rid of this. That just gives them way too much value. And then Korvold finally lands. I think we'll get rid of the goose. I'm not too bothered about that. And we'll transform as well. And we gain some life. Okay. Jeez. They've got so much stuff. So don't forget the cauldron gets cheaper every time a creature enters the graveyard as well. So it's -4 at the minute. 2 less for each creature card in your graveyard. Henrique's pretty good. I rate this card. So many words. So many words. Woe Strider. Is that scary? Sacrifice X squirrels. So they've got 2 at the minute. Why does it have Forest Walk? I mean, I get it. I get it. It's a squirrel. Binding. That's good as well. Each creature with flying death gets +0/+0. So if we do this, we can also cast Rankle for 2, but I feel like I want to use the binding here on the Chatterfang. Because that is just, it just gets out of hand. They're going to sack it. Makes sense. We can also sack the food to gain 3 life, which is something we shouldn't really forget about. So I think we just attack with the Henrika for now. Gain some life. Just bide our time a bit. The thing I'm mostly scared about is the, I guess a Crater Hoof Behemoth. But they've only got 5 mana. 6 mana. Defiler of Vigor. Ugh. So they cast a green permanent. They can put a counter on each creature they control. That is scary. We're getting to the point though, like we've almost got flying lethal here. I think we'll sack this to get... What's better? Sack... Yeah, let's sack this. Gain 3 life, draw a card. We want to get Korvold to be bigger, don't we? What have they got in their hand? They didn't like that. But surely they should have just... What could they have done? Not sure. 17. So we're getting to a point now where they probably win the game very soon. Like, they could win next turn, right? Let's get ourselves the Proving Ground. Every one of our lands is a tap land, which is annoying. Be nice to get out the Goreclaw earlier, I suppose, but... What are they waiting for here? We're going to have 9 flying. Is that going to be enough? I don't feel like it is. We can pay 6 to give our flyers +2 each. So that would be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's not enough. So I think we're just going to go for Goreclaw. If the tapper would like to tap nicely, please. It's a shame it doesn't have haste. What if we attack with Rankle as well, though? Creature spells you cast with power 4, greater cost 2. Okay, actually, how does this change the maths? Because Korvold gets bigger here, right? Man, if Goreclaw had haste, that would be pretty insane. Shieldred. Shieldred for 3 mana is berserk. Can we... See, the question is, can we survive an attack back? So we've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... 15 flying. Lose another life. I think we have to attack. With these 2. Or do we attack with everything? How much is that? 8... 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, let's just do it. I'm nuts. I'm crazy. Trample. Ugh. Down to 2. Each player loses 1 life and draws a card. Is there any point making them draw? Or just discard? Because the difference between 1 and 2... Yeah, I think we just discard here. Get rid of the Blackleaf Cliffs. Damn. I don't know if there's any way to deal an extra 1 there. Ogre Slumlord. Everything they sack here is going to be great for us because it means 1 less power from the Defiler Vigor coming in. So let's just hypothesize. Let's say they cast 1 green permanent. Everything gets +1/+1 counter. That's an extra... Okay, so now it's only an extra 6 on top of what they already have, though. Scry bottom. Every bottom scry is helping us so greatly. Lose 1. They would have been at 1 here. They would have been at 1 if we had taken them. Yeah, still not lethal. I'm glad I didn't... God, that would have been a stupid mistake. Sacrificing again is great for us. Because it's kind of like -2 power there, if that makes any sense. Interesting. They're going to go for the Gore Claw, which means... What does that mean? They could go for the Squirrel. Oh, no, they can't actually... Interesting. How much is that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Wow, that was a really close game. I feel like... So I should have just... So they're at 1 here. How do they lose that 1? How did they lose that 1? Yeah, so I should have just attacked, made them draw a card. But what if the card I made them draw would have helped? Yeah, that's a tricky one. That's hard to say. But either way, we won. So anyone got any issues, I guess? Tell me in the comments below. I'm sure there's always at least one comment. So, as I said in the first part of the video, this deck was heavily inspired by one of Sheldon's deck lists for EDH. So this is converted into Historic Brawl. I will leave a link to the original deck list below in the comments below, and I'll also leave a link to this edited version. I tried to fit in as many of the cards as possible. Obviously, it's pretty tough because this is a commander deck meant for 4 players in paper, but I think I got the gist of it. You know, he wanted to create a legendary Jund list. There's actually a really cool article from him explaining this deck and using this deck. It was actually really fun. He definitely knew what he was doing, even though I've only got probably about 50 to 60% of the cards he has in his list. I think I really got the essence down. So it's really cool to build something in with someone else's mentality. And as someone who normally gives out deck lists to people, it's something that I don't normally experience. I don't normally take lists and analyze them in this way, but you can kind of really see someone's personality. And I think that's always been a really interesting part of Magic. It's more than a game. People say it's just a game, but it isn't. It's a reflection of our personalities, a reflection of ourselves. And we do take it personally when we lose, and we take it personally when people criticize, because it is an extension of our psyche. I believe that. I really do. The game brings us joy. It brings us fun. It's entertaining in so many ways for so many people, you know, and you can see Sheldon loved the game. There's an article. I'll try and find all the links that I've mentioned. It shows you all the deck lists he had, and he has an inspiring amount. I mean, I'm trying to get as many as he did. He had 1 deck for every single color combination. So I think it must have been like 27 or something. So every monocolor, every dual color, tricolor, quad color, 5 color, colorless, and some partners as well. Not just one of each, multiples of each. And yeah, this was just the one I found really interesting because it was one that I could actually convert to Historic Brawl, because this Korvold is in the game. So it's got a really nice ramp package. I have added quite a few cards because, as I said before, I don't have access to a lot of the cards only available on paper, but also to kind of smooth the deck out a bit. So Lanor Elves, the Gilded Goose, Elvish Mystic, Halfling, these are just things I really like to have in a John deck because it just smooths out, lets you play the bigger things. There's a lot of really cool synergistic things that I wouldn't have actually put together. Stuff like Korvold, because it's triple green, I wouldn't have thought of putting it in the deck, but yeah, Sheldon wanted to just put loads of interesting Eldraine things. Stuff like Sepharon, which I never really thought of either, but when you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? Because Korvold's going to get absolutely huge in this deck, and if Sepharon attacks alongside him, Sepharon's going to be huge as well. So it's like having two Korvolds. It's really interesting. Things like the Cauldron of Eternity, which nobody ever uses. Costs 2 less for each card in your graveyard creature card, so that's going to be happening quite a lot. And whenever a creature you control dies, put it on the bottom of your library, but you can pay 2 life and return a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. So the downside is, after you play this, creatures don't go to the graveyard, but you're going to be able to resurrect some really cool things. A few things I added was Gloin, because it really liked historic spells. Whenever you cast historic spells, you get a treasure, and you can use a treasure to ramp into big things. And Korvold, seeing anything getting sacrificed, is going to trigger and you draw a card. Korvold is so powerful. This was actually a strange card made for the original Eldraine, and it was the only ever set that they made Brawl decks for, and Brawl is 60 card. It's like Historic Brawl, but it's 60 card, and it was standard, so it's a bit weird. Historic Brawl came after. If you don't know, little history lesson there, when people were saying, oh, we want something closer to Commander. And yeah, so Historic Brawl was born of that. 100 cards, Singleton, Legend as your Commander. And what else did I add? I've added the Itali because, it's so crazy, adding so many things to the board. And yeah, it's just, it's nice. It's a nice deck. And it's so sad to see Sheldon go because he was, as I said, hugely influential. I've never played with him or met him, but I did interact him once on Twitter. So I thought that was quite cool that he actually commented on one of my posts, I think. And I know it's so silly to be starstruck, but he's, as I said, the godfather of the format. And to have him just acknowledge me just to comment, it's just a small comment. I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty cool, And I'm still a small fish myself, still learning a lot. And there's a lot for me to learn from other people, being a content creator, or aspiring to be anyway. So yeah, hopefully this deck does him justice. I'd love to get all the cards in his deck list, but sadly I didn't have enough mythics and rares, or they weren't available. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this serves him well. If he's watching from the command zone or whatever zone he has ascended to, I hope he's in a good place right now, wherever he may be, spiritually, mentally, physically. Yeah. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you want to.